Today we're exploring everything in Warsaw for our Living Local series and for our next People and Places story, as it's home to the historic Best House. WNCT's Ken Watling joins us live from the house. And Ken, what can you tell us today?
Hi Shayla, we are now inside the historic LP Best House. This place dates back to the late 1800s, built in 1894 by a family of furniture makers from Mebane out in Alamance County. The home was renovated back in the 1990s, but today not only does the history of this home live on, it actually helps to preserve the memory of veterans from right here in Duplin County.
We're well represented all the way through, from the private all the way up.
There's a rich military history in Warsaw. It's due in part to geography.
We're the crossroads of the military with all the bases that are around us.
Seymour Johnson Air Force Base sits just 25 miles to the north. Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune is 40 miles to the southeast. And 50 miles to the west is the U.S. Army's Fort Bragg, the largest military installation in the world.
We'll get a lot of veterans, active veterans, that come through. They'll see the sign outside the road, and curiosity will bring them in.
That curiosity brings them here to the LP Best House in Warsaw, built in 1894. Today it's home to the Duplin County Veterans Memorial Museum.
But we specifically honor Duplin County veterans.
Earl Rouse is the curator of the museum and a Warsaw native. His time in the Coast Guard during Vietnam is displayed here.
The criteria to get into the museum: you're born in Duplin County, you come back and lived in Duplin County, you died in Duplin County. I've always made a joke out of it: if you ride by the museum, I'll grab you and put you in the honor roll.
That honor roll sits at the museum's entrance, filled with more than 8,000 names of Duplin County veterans.
I think that we're still short several thousand.
The museum is filled with the uniforms of local vets, medals, certificates, and pictures. Veterans from all eras are remembered here, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War and beyond.
For World War I and World War II, people begged to sign up to go.
Korean, Vietnam, and Gulf War vets are honored too. This display highlights the 11 generals from Duplin County.
We have more generals in Duplin County than any other county in North Carolina. And all of them lived in Duplin County at one time or another.
Whether a general or a private, all of Duplin County's veterans are remembered here. But even if you don't have a connection to Warsaw, Earl believes you could still take away a lot by paying the museum a visit.
The memories in here may not be known to someone that's outside of Duplin County, but they can relate to everything that's on this wall and what's on the floor, because they had a loved one that went through it. They may not be military people, but it's the history that everybody needs to know.
And Mr. Rouse does just about everything he can to make sure Duplin County veterans are remembered. You heard him mention the honor roll right here at the front of the museum and how he thinks there's maybe a couple of thousand veterans from the county who aren't being recognized right now. And to make sure those names are added to this honor roll, Mr. Rouse actually goes all across the county, goes into old grave sites and graveyards, and looks at grave markers to find any veterans that may not have been recognized already. If you have an interesting person or place you'd like to see featured on People and Places, send me an email. It's kwatling@WNCT.com, or you can reach out to me on social media via Twitter or Facebook. We've got much more to come from here in Warsaw, inside the historic LP Best House. That's coming up tonight at 6. But for now, let's go back to the studio.